Hi guys, this is Mary. Welcome back to Cardz TV. Today we're going to make a birthday card for a young man that I know who's getting ready to have his 16th birthday. So we're going to do a masculine card for a teenage boy. We'll be using Georgian basic shapes, groovy times. We'll use two of my Cardz TV stamp sets. This one's called It's a Guy Thing, and we're going to use Dude. And from Cardz TV Ticket Talk set, we'll use You Rock. So I'll get this moved out of the way and we'll get started on this teenage boy birthday card. We'll be using a white card base today, and this is going to be a landscape style card. So it'll open like this, and when this is folded, it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I've got some blue cardstock and some black cardstock, which I'm going to layer on top of this card. And as always, guys, I'll have all the measurements, cut sizes, and all the supplies that I use listed at the end of the video. So I'll grab my ATG gun and get all of this adhered to the base of our card. And then we're going to do something fun with aluminum foil. So stay tuned for that. Here's our card base all ready for the next layer, or the next mat. Now I wanted to put something shiny on here, and I wanted to emboss it. So this is what I've already done, and this is actually aluminum foil, guys. I've kind of dinged this one up, but we're going to do another one. And the back of it is on cardstock. And I took this Cuttlebug embossing folder, and I cannot remember the name of this to save my life, but I embossed it. And it's going to go right here as the next mat on the card. But let me show you how I did this. I went ahead and cut a piece of white cardstock that's going to be the next mat. And then I took a glue stick. This one's handy. This is a Xyron, and you can turn it up the bottom. And I covered it really, really well all over, because I really want this foil to stick down on the corners, the sides, everywhere, because we don't want this foil to be pulling up. Next, I took just a piece of foil, and this has a dull side and a shiny side, and I want the shiny side to show, so I'm going to lay the foil on the dull side. And I'm going to try to smooth it out as best I can. But we are going to run this through an embossing folder. You can see how well that's sticking. Now this foil, even though it's Reynolds Wrap, which is a good brand, it is still kind of delicate. So you want to be careful with this. Just smooth it out as well as you can. If you have a brayer, that would work great to run a brayer over it, but I do not have one. The next thing we're going to do is take some scissors and trim this down. And once I get all the excess trimmed off the sides, we're going to put it in that embossing folder and run it through the Cuttlebug. Okay, here is my cardstock covered with the aluminum foil. And like I said, if you've got a brayer, then you could get all these little bumps and bubbles out. But I don't have one, and I'm just going to go ahead and emboss it just like this. I'm going to put it inside this embossing folder. And I've already got my A plate down on the Cuttlebug. I've got one B plate. I'm going to put my folder down and put the top B plate, and we're going to run this through and then see how this looks. I just think that is so cool that you can use aluminum foil like that. Who knew? And once you put it on the cardstock, it's much sturdier. Look at that, guys. Love that. Okay, I'm going to get the Cuttlebug out of the way, and we're going to get this put on the front of our card base. Now, I'm just going to use my ATG gun because this is just cardstock on the back. But I'm going to adhere some things to the front, and I'm going to use some foam tape. But if you don't want to pop things up, I would use score tape, glue dots, something like that that's really going to hold, because this is a slick surface. So it might be kind of hard to get things to stick if you don't use something really strong. And I'm going to get this centered. Now I did cut this centerpiece at 3 3/4 by 5. And I don't want to smash my embossing, so I'm going to put this down very carefully. I just love that. I think that is so cool for a masculine card. Okay, now what's going on here next came from the Groovy Times cartridge. I wanted something with kind of a retro look, and I've used this shape once before, and I think I used it behind a motorcycle that I got from this Groovy Times cartridge. So let me tell you where to find this shape, and I've gone ahead and cut that out, and I cut this out at 2 3/4 inches, and it's on page 70. Kind of got some glue on my fingers. Yeah, I did use it for the motorcycle. It's on the page where the motorcycle is, and I just used the one right down here that says shape phrase. You would hit shift, shape phrase, and then cut this out of the green at 2 3/4 inches. So we're going to put that down, and I'm going to put that on some foam tape. Next, I've got this cute little guitar, and it's red, orange, green, blue, and black, and I've already got it on some foam tape, 2 thicknesses, and that guitar is on page 53. You can see all the layers: red, orange, black, blue, and then the green. You would just cut these out and adhere them together in order, and I cut the guitar at 3 inches, so that's going to go right there. And I'm not going to adhere this down yet because I've got to do some stamping right here. Okay, first, before we get this adhered to the front of the card, I'm going to come right up here and stamp the word dude from the It's a Guy Thing set. And I've got some Memento Tuxedo black ink. I'm going to go ahead and get this inked up. And I want to stamp it right up here. Cute. Now, to go down on the bottom part of this, I went to the George cartridge because I wanted a star. Now, there's some stars in the Groovy Times cartridge, but I couldn't get them to cut out the right size. Every time I tried, I'd have to use real dial size, and they still didn't come out right. So on page 115 in the George and Basic Shapes cartridge, I cut this star out, and I cut the star at 2 1/4 inches. Okay, we'll get it inked up. I'm going to go right in the center. You rock. Ah, perfect. Okay, I'll get this out of the way, and we'll get the front of this card finished. Now I've got my little green mat on some foam tape. We're going to get that stuck down, and we're going to move it a little to the left so that that star will fit. Just about like that. The guitar is going to go right there. And I've got the star on some foam tape. I'm going to put it down before I adhere the guitar. Going to go just about like that. Now I wanted some little music notes on here, so I found some in the Groovy Times cartridge, and they're on page 44. Right here you'd hit shift and layer 2 on page 44, and I cut these at 1 1/4 inches. So here's my finished card, guys, and I think it turned out kind of cool with that embossed foil, and that was super easy to do. And I think this would be really pretty like on anniversary cards, wedding cards. Of course, use a different embossing folder, but it would really add some nice sparkle and shine. Love that. Thank you so much for coming by and spending some time with me today, guys. I hope you had fun and got inspired, and I will see you again soon with another card. Bye now.